In this lesson, we're going to use PHP to validate a date. In other words, we're going to write a regular expression in PHP that will tell whether a date meets a format that we specify. The format we're going to specify is a 2-digit month / 2-digit day / 4-digit year, like this. If the user enters a date in any other format, then our regular expression will throw that out as being an invalid date. So let's look at how to write that expression. We're going to be using a form we used before in PHP, handleform.php. I've modified it a little bit from when we used it before. We're adding a date to the form. So this form gathers a person's name, their email address, and a date. And then I have it match against the date and then either say, thank you, name, we will reply to you at your email address, or we're going to come back and tell them that their date is invalid. So now let's write the regular expression that goes in the $pattern variable. We start out first by anchoring our regular expression on the beginning of the string. Then we're going to create a group for the month because we want the month to either start with a 0 or with a 1. So here's how we do that. Open parenthesis to start a group. Then if the date is going to start with a 1, it can either contain a 1 and a 0 through 2. So in other words, the month can be 10, 11, or 12. Or, so we have a bar, if the month begins with 0, then it can contain 1 through 9, alternatively. And that represents our first group. Then we want to match a slash, and because we're using the slash as our delimiter, we need to use a backslash there to say we want the slash to be represented literally. Now we're going to work on the day part of a date. So it begins a new group. A day can begin with a 3, and in that case, it's going to be either 30 or 31, or a 1 or 2, followed by 0 through 9, or if it begins with a leading 0, then it can be 1 through 9, and that represents our day. Again, we put a backslash slash. And then finally, for the year, that one's very simple. We're going to be very lax with it. 4 characters, 0 through 9. So there's our regular expression. We close it with our closing slash delimiter. So now let's save the file. Let's open up a web browser and let's load the form. So I'll put my name in, my email address, and then I'll put an invalid date. Click submit information, and we see that our regular expression found that as an invalid date. So let me back up, fix the date, click submit, and it accepted it just fine. So let's go back very quickly and look at the regular expression one more time. We break it up into 3 groups for the month, the day, and the year. And we can either have a leading 1 with the 0 through 2, or a leading 0 with 1 through 9 for the month, followed by a day that can either start with a 3 and can be 0, 1, or a 1 or a 2 for the 11th or the 22nd, for example, followed by either the 0 through 9, or it can start with a leading 0 and be 1 through 9. And then the year is very simply 4 digits, 0 through 9. And that wraps up this lesson on matching dates using PHP.